And we're live. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Good to see you again almost every week now. Today, I'm really happy to be hosting a special event. For the first time, we are going to have one of the Blockchain Game Alliance sponsor introduce what they are doing during a full 1 hour session. And you'll get a chance to ask them any question you might have about their product, their services, and all the great stuff they will be showing you. So today we'll be welcoming the TAP project, which is one of the newest members that joined the Blockchain Game Alliance, if you've been following us the past few months. And for those of you who are not familiar with the BGA, before I jump to the TAP project, let me give you a quick introduction about what we are doing. So we are a non-profit organization that's committed to promoting the adoption of blockchain technology within the video game industry. We are now counting over 200 members from various sides of the industry. And our goal is really to showcase what's possible to do and to spread awareness using NFTs, DeFi, DAOs, decentralized gaming, and other benefit from this technology to create games, to engage with communities, to reward users, to play, and more. We are offering a space where users can network, can connect with each other, generate potentially business collaboration. We offer space as well to improve and discuss around certain topic on research and reporting to establish new standards into renting of NFTs, into gas fees, transaction, UX, and so on. We are here to represent blockchain game company, obviously, within the broader game industry and give them a maximum of visibility through our various events, panel, demo days, and more. I'd like to give a big thanks to all our sponsors. As you can see here, AMD, Antler Interactive, Ubisoft, Vulcan Forge, Illuvium, Mobox, One Way Block, Zaya, Star Atlas, Arc.io, Non-Fungible, Digital Entertainment Asset Group, Gamerash, TAP Project, who is with us today, IOI, TriumphX, Algorand, NRKX, Boson Protocol, Chromia, Matic, Next Type, Animoca Brands, Contribute, Consensus, Galaxy Interactive, and finally Tesos, which is, as you can see, the list is enlarging. So it's great to have all their support even more to support the activity of the BGA. And this is our big family map. You can see we have plenty of logos from blockchain games companies, chains and protocol, press and media, games, investors, developer solution, esports, platform, marketplaces, and many others. So it's really exciting to see all the spectrum of the industry here. We do run events, many events now, close to 50 a year on various topics. Those topics could be interviews, workshops, panels on certain topic, new member presentation event once a month, sorry. The famous demo days where you can see products live as they are to discover what they do. We offer free speaking opportunity to speakers, and today we are inaugurating as well the sponsors introduction. So without any further ado, let's jump into this first sponsor introduction by the TAP project. To do that, I'm really happy to have the two co-founders of the project, Haniff Knight, the CEO, and Hugh Knight, the CTO, who will be telling us more about what they are doing. And if you want to join or follow us, you can find us on Twitter, on Medium, on Telegram and Discord, and our website is here, www.blockchaingamealliance.org. All right, so I'll leave it to you guys. Haniff, Hugh, stage is yours.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys for having us here. It's been it's a pleasure. Thank you, Sebastian, for the intro, Luis and Serena. It's been great. Again, I thank you guys for making this introduction for us today. And yeah, we'd love to share what's going on with the TAP project. And thank you, chat and community, for jumping in and joining us too as well. Be sure to fire off those questions. Hugh and I will be on our toes to answer pretty much anything that we can. Join our community. We have a lot of things going. We have some cool NFTs that are going to be popping up in the next little bit that will be limited time. So just tease that for you guys to join our community. Join the BGA community as well. Leave us some comments and stuff. So yeah, I guess we can jump into it if you guys, Luis or Serena, have any other comments to make. Yeah, perfect. All right. So maybe what I'll do is I'll introduce myself, and then I'll allow Hugh to introduce himself as well. And then we'll get into kind of the Tap project, what this all means, our whole story, our vision, where we came from, for those who might never have heard of us, and for those who have heard of us as well. Um, so I can just provide a little bit of background on myself. My name is Haniff Knight. I'm one of the co-founders of the Tap project. Um, I bring in a blockchain gaming technology, communications technology background in terms of academics. I have a long-standing, I guess it would be a kill streak career, KDR, point collection, currency collection in gaming from when I was small till now, till this date. Still currently playing games, heavily involved in that as well, until organizing, moderating, and tier one events, esports events, and playing in tournaments myself as well. Started out my time in terms of streaming as well, learning in terms of the streaming world, trying to adapt and innovate that space as well, creating a smaller project that I actually use in terms of just with some friends of mine, something that's called True Points, where it wagers points against the YouTuber. The YouTuber can say, hey, how many kills that I'm going to get in the next 30 minutes or in the next 5 minutes, and the community can kind of wager points on that. Had a fun with our friends innovating in terms of that space there, and then got into kind of the blockchain space. Obviously, like many, with Bitcoin in 2011, 2012, and then learning about smart contracts with Ethereum in 2016, 2017 as that came out. So I have that in terms of my background. I come from the island of Jamaica. So I am Jamaican. I'm based in Canada. Came here when I was younger, and been here. I love it in the west coast of Vancouver. So I can't leave. So anyone who is in Canada and in the States as well, all around the world, if you guys haven't visited here, hopefully we can see you guys soon in the next next bit, once things quiet down, obviously around the world. So yeah, I'll just leave that for introduction on myself, and Hugh, I'd love to for you to take the floor and introduce yourself.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, awesome. Well, thanks once again for having us. Hannah's covered all the pleasantries, so I'll just jump into my intro. So my name is Hugh Knight. Haniff and I are brothers. And so my background is largely technology based. And so I handle a lot of the development with a great development team that we have here at Tap. I'm a gamer as well, but not as deep as Haniff. I've kind of transitioned, to the mobile gaming space myself. Once in a while, I'll jump back to the PC or the console base. When Ethereum first came around, there wasn't a lot of developers into it. And so it was a very interesting concept and Solidity based. We jumped into there. And then it just kind of blossomed from there, handling APIs and front-end development and so forth. So a lot of the technical stuff does float my way. I can turn on the charm when I need to, but Haniff does a lot of the, the face-to-face one-on-one type of engagements. And so that's pretty much a little bit about me.
Yeah, thanks, Hugh, for that. I appreciate that. Hugh, undersells himself a bit. Hugh has a huge technical background, and he's a key figure in terms of the development space. And I can kind of get into a little bit about how that came about, and you guys will quickly see kind of where the conversations we had together. So I'll just share my screen here. Just a little presentation just to showcase for those who are jumping into the space and about the Tap project who are new. Just want to showcase this to you guys. And then for those who have, returned, heard about us before, hopefully we can provide some cool things and new additions because we got a lot coming down the pipe as well. So join us on any of the social media, tap_coin on Twitter, t.me/tapcoin on Telegram, www.tapproject.net for our website. Learn more, hit us up on our platform, join our Discord as well. We have our Discord link. It should be popping up in the chat. We love the communication. We love the feedback. One thing as well for us is we're super transparent. We love to be open with the community, and we love feedback. So if you guys have, criticism or, constructive, hopefully, we'll love to entertain that and, just have a discussion about where we can push this. Because Hugh and I have always said, we're just kind of driving the car, but we need you guys in the car as well, telling us where to go, maybe not grabbing the wheel because that's dangerous, but, telling us where we go and where we should evolve as a community. So one thing I'll just kind of lead into our genesis story here before we get to that is, me and Hugh were playing games one day, and the story simply comes as this. We're playing games and I'm saying to him, hey man, wouldn't it be amazing to take this in-game currency that I have in this game, take it out, put into another game, take it out, use it, take it out. It could be used for, buying a beer, buying a chocolate bar, buying groceries, helping someone, donating to charity, taking out all this in-game currency that I've kind of locked away in individual games. Wouldn't it be amazing to be able to hold that, grasp that, transfer that wherever, put into another game that I'm currently going to be playing? He said, okay, I'll take a look. I'll think about it. And him being the technical mind went away for a little bit, never heard from him for a couple of weeks. And he came back and he said, hey, there's this thing called Ethereum and smart contracts and blockchain technology. We know about Bitcoin, but there's a way to code to it and do all these things and, actually make this possible. And that was literally the conversation and the vision that struck where we are in terms of the project. Being able to have this in-game currency move, being able to have a broader impact, whether it's on the social, economic side, and have a possibility for a universal opportunity where people are not only, earning from gaming, getting paid from gaming, whether it's through mobile, PC, or console, but developers are getting their rewards as well. So we began that journey. Obviously, there were many problems that were kind of all laid out, similar to these random images or buttons or words on my screen. The currencies in individual games were stuck. My game experience and 2.9, I think it is right now in terms of gamers, 2.9 billion gamers out there in the world experience the same thing, and their game experience, in-game currencies are stuck. One thing we actually did find was there were people trying to make this happen. There were companies, there were websites, there were products that were trying to make this in-game currency conversion and transfer happen. But when we tried them, I actually have my wife actually tried them as well. And in her playing, and I'll use this story, but she was also subject to some of these problems that I experienced. So currently, if you do try and take out your in-game currency, if you do try and transfer your WoW gold, your CS gold, or whatever it might be, you're stuck with unreliable, lack of security, and slow services. Those services require you to join up their service, list your item. You can say, I'll only be able to deliver it for 20 minutes or 48 hours. You have to sign up with the person who's listing that item. You have to communicate with them. You have to join their server, join them on, Discord or Steam, or add them as a friend in game. And then you have to physically meet in game and drop the item and then drop the cash or drop the gold. There's so many issues with that. It's, sometimes it goes right, can go 90% of time, it can go right. But that 10% of time on 2.9 billion people, that is a chance I probably wouldn't take. And for many of you who might have experienced this, and I've experienced it and seen it myself, that person grabs the item and then runs. And your heart just sinks. Whatever you're trying to sell is gone. So there is the problem there. And we saw this kind of in our vision and our upbringing and seeing these issues. And we said there must be a better way. We saw developers struggle because all this, the secondary skin market is a $50 billion market and industry. And developers aren't getting anything. Developers aren't getting any sort of revenue. They aren't getting any sort of share. About 75% of PC developers that actually come out into Steam games, they make less than $4,000 when their game debuts. $4,000 for putting their time and effort and almost their life sometimes, if you're an indie developer, into this game, for it to fall flat and then maybe create a secondary market that you're not even able to access. And when they do try and create innovative, cool, different ways, like using blockchain technology, there's so many difficult and ways to onboard, and that they're just stuck, learning about Web3 solidity or, MetaMask configurations, or not being able to connect their wallets to their games, and etc. But there is a solution. So with all that, there is a nice and green solution, the Tap project and Tap platform. We allow gamers to transfer game-to-game transferring. Gamers can be rewarded for playing their games. There is the new revenue opportunity that developers can be a part of the secondary market. They can embrace the secondary market and also be a part of it by earning transactional revenue. We consider ourselves as a developer solution stack, providing that opportunity for developers to jump into blockchain technology with their traditional game and access the new concepts and new innovative ideas. By providing an opportunity for developers to, learn from marketplaces. We'll set them up with, connection with wallets. All the developers will have to focus on is creating that cool game, that cool experience, and allowing users to join, as we'll do the rest. We provide that unique gaming experience that is one-to-one and no others are providing, in terms of a traditional experience combined with blockchain technology. And best, we are reliable, trustless, and secure. So as a user, if you are trying to export your in-game currency, you'll know that your in-game item is going to reach its user. It's going to be able to come out of the game. Your in-game currencies will be able to be rewarded, and you'll be paid to play and continue on the blockchain. So simply, if you want to take control of your in-game currency, now is the time, and it's possible to transfer in-game currency from one game to the next, capturing your experiences, being rewarded to play. Our goal is to try and make it as easy as possible, enabling you to save your time and your money as well. So I'd love to just kind of pause there as we kind of go into our products and solutions. And Hugh, if you'd want to jump in and say a little bit about our products, our solutions there in terms of the Tap platform, NFT Anywhere, and then we'll jump right back into it.
Yeah, for sure. So, just to cover some of the things that Haniff's gone over, during our time and sort of through the Genesis idea, we've sort of evolved and changed and built on top of, Ethereum and its advancements, as well as blockchain and its advancements as well. And so one of the really cool things is we've designed a platform, which is a Tap platform, which helps facilitate a lot of these conversions. So you're able to convert from game to platform, from platform to blockchain, and in reverse as well. It's sort of this one-stop shop for the gamers as well as for the developers to be able to, generate revenue, additional revenue. It's an enhancement piece. And so this is something that we're super passionate about and we're super proud of. And we've, devoted a lot of our time into looking and researching. And I remember, this is obviously before COVID. We were at a lot of the events and talking to a lot of developers and just getting their feedback on, some of the struggles and the pain points that they were experiencing. And they were pretty much saying a lot of the same things, right? They put their time into developing games, and there wasn't a lot of revenue being generated for them or opportunities to generate additional revenue, as well as there would be sometimes secondary markets that they weren't able to tap in. And a lot of the times to tap in and actually help facilitate that and fuel that piece. And so, through the Tap platform, we've made it as simple as possible and as easy as possible. One of the things that coming from a gaming world, you're dealing with a lot of different and unique individuals and different skill sets. Some are extremely tech savvy, and some are just not so tech savvy, but they enjoy gaming, and they're more the casual. They'll pop on and they'll game. And so we've tried to build the platform to allow the easy access, a very easy and intuitive interface, and just remove any clutter or anything that wasn't really really necessary to help them generate revenue for themselves, or to help them enjoy moving their points from one game to the next and just carry on in game and do exactly that. One of the really nice things is we've been able to integrate with Steam through the Tap platform. And so by going onto the platform, you register, you link your Steam account, and you play, you can actually put it to the side, and it's not this big piece that just takes over your life. You just continue to game, you continue to grind, and as you're gaming and grinding and you're achieving those points and you're achieving those badges and engagements, you're being rewarded. And then when you're ready, you go on the platform and you're able to see what you've achieved, and then you can import it into another game, or you can export it to the blockchain world as a cryptocurrency and just continue on. So that's a little bit about the platform and sort of what it does. In terms of NFT Anywhere, for us, what we've noticed is, we've got a podcast that we try and put out every now and then just to kind of update the community and so forth. But a lot of times it's just Haniff and I just kind of chatting, and as brothers, we always have these discussions. So we thought, hey, it'd be interesting to kind of just include the community into it and just get them into the room as we're just kind of talking about gaming and blockchain. And one of the things that we notice is, a lot of the times we've got different chains and they're doing fantastic stuff, and they've got, different communities and, different wallets, and everybody is sort of picked their, almost forced to pick their blockchain or their chain of preference. And so one of the things we wanted to do was, hey, why does, for example, our NFT have to stay on one chain? Why can't it just move to the other chain? Why can't it almost teleport to the next chain? And I can use it there. If I have an NFT on, Ethereum, I can move it to Binance, and from Binance, I can move it to Wax, and from Wax to Flow, and just many different options. So, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter where you want to game. You just game where you want to game, or you interact where you want to interact. And so through NFT Anywhere, we've been able to design a portal. That's what we sort of call it, that allows you to move your NFTs from, blockchain to blockchain and still have its data follow you, and you can still interact and do whatever you need to do. Either if the game over there allows you to import it, you can import your NFT into that game, or if it's on a marketplace that you desire to put it, you put it on a marketplace and away you go, and you get to enjoy all the benefits of the different chains and the different uniqueness that they bring to the entire blockchain space. One of the other cool things, and I think Haniff will probably touch on it, so I won't steal his thunder too much on this one. We've got the Great NFT Hunt, that's been queued up, and that we're very excited about. We're pushing to the community. But one of the things that when we looked at the NFT space, is that there is a lot more than some might realize. It's not necessarily just a matter of buying and selling and hoping somebody wants that NFT that you purchase and you want to sell. It's actually looking at NFTs as more of a platform, and that platform facilitates many different things and some really cool and unique pieces. And I think we're starting to see that in the NFT space, where it's being considered a platform, and you've got artists, you've got musicians, you've got gamers, you've got everybody coming to this platform and interacting with NFTs in different ways and doing things differently than it was initially conceptualized. And so for us, it's being able to enhance that NFT space, add a bit of gamification to it, give some excitement. And so, once again, not stealing the thunder, we've designed a way that you can actually take these different, once again, it's bridging is sort of where we fall in line. These different, standards we're talking about, ERC 721, 1155, 998, and the list sort of goes on, and being able to put them into a pack, sort of like a pack of hockey cards or baseball cards, and have that excitement where you can get all your NFTs, put them into a pack, and then with that pack you could either participate in different events. You can use NFT Anywhere and send your pack to another blockchain, or once again, if you so choose, you can put a pack on a marketplace. Instead of a single item, now you can sell a pack of of NFTs all together, and away you go. There's obviously some cool stuff that I'm going to get into later on, but I just kind of want to hand it back to Haniff to sort of cover that.
Yes, I have a couple of questions.
Yeah, for sure.
to both of you. So if I understand correctly, you can transfer your currencies from one game to another. You're working with Steam, and I have a question on that note. Will you be interested in allowing cross-platform transfer from currencies? For example, if you have it in a game, like a Steam game, you can transfer it to a PlayStation game, for instance, or would it only have to be inside Steam in this case?
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're thinking on the broader vision, and that's a good question, Luis, and that kind of captures some of the different aspects that we're working through. So with our cross currency transversion or conversion, so to speak, this allows users to convert their in-game currencies from one game to the next on integrated games. So this does require some developer partnership, collaboration, integration in terms of our Tap SDK. We've built this SDK in combination with Unity. We have a built-in SDK with Unity and Unreal, so we can capture two of the pretty much the largest engines that people are developing on. So if they integrate our SDK or plugin, this allows a unique customization. So it allows exactly what you said. So it allows that conversion between multi-platforms. You can literally play a mobile game, jump on, play around there, gain some score, jump into PlayStation, whatever it is for those integrated games. We are building our network, so we do have 3 integrated games right now. And our pitch and our role is to make this widely accessible to developers so that they can earn this revenue, so that players can have this excitement of doing so. For the Steam side, we've made it possible right now at this moment to convert in-game achievements. So as you're playing Steam, you can, you unlock, 50 kills or something like that. An in-game achievement will pop up, and then you'll be able to go to the Tap platform and actually unlock that as Tapcoins. From there, you're pretty much the sky's the limit for you, because if you obviously explore the areas of blockchain, you can convert that into Ethereum. You can, transfer that into any other tokens. You can transfer that into an integrated game. But on the Steam side, the achievements are what we're targeting. In our version 3 that we're coming out in the next month here is we are going to be adapting and moving and shaping a lot of these things as well. And one thing that we're adding to the Steam side is being able to mint those achievements as NFTs. So if you unlock a really cool achievement and it's designed and it has some sort of access on the platform, you'll be able to mint that as a standalone NFT to showcase your portfolio, showcase your profile. And the cool thing there with this scarcity is these are going to be across chain, so between Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. And if there's 10 in one game, that means there's 10 across both chains. So now you're not only gamifying the game themselves and the achievements, but you're actually adding a layer of gamification to the entire blockchain, where you create this opportunity where it doesn't matter what chain you're playing on, play the game no matter the chain, so to speak. So just to kind of answer your question, hopefully that does.
Yes, it does. Thank you. So in a sense, you're kind of working towards making every game a play to earn game some way. Like, you can just play along and just be creating your own currencies while you're playing. And that's kind of a special thing for sure, especially for most gamers. And so this will mean also that people can fund games in some way, as I understood that you're trying to make people or developers to experience better revenue from the one that they're getting at this time. So in that sense, players or gamers can fund their games, their favorite games from their favorite developers as well.
Yeah, that's definitely it. As gamers and coming from sort of the grinding world, we end up gamers put a lot of time into games. Developers put a lot of time. So it's this collaboration of developers putting time into trying to create these games for gamers, and gamers, spending that time playing the game and helping the developers, right? By helping the developers create more revenue, then the developers can produce more games or enhance the games. A lot of times you get these one-off, really great games, fantastic games, and the developer just does not have the revenue to continue, and you just watch it kind of fade, and you kind of a teardrop kind of comes to your eye, and you're like, I hope they just have this opportunity. And so it's being able to give back and allow the developers to generate that revenue, allow them to continue to create and sort of build on top of that while the gamer is gaming, and sort of providing that that cohesive, that holistic sort of circular collaboration between the two.
Yeah, it's really building, like, imagine a time where the games aren't restricted by their individual games. Imagine a time where it's not restricted by the blockchains themselves as well. It's kind of, I always use an example, or I've said an example on previous. Imagine going to the bank and trying to take out your money, and the bank or the teller says, sorry, you can't move your money from here. It can only be used within this bank. You can only transfer it between this teller and this teller. You can't go any further. But you've said, all my, hard-earned, life-earned cash is in there. Everything that I've earned, all my assets, all my gold, everything that I've played is in here. My wage is in here. But the banker says, unfortunately, sorry, you're going to have to go to the next bank if you want to, go to this store, and then you'll have to start from scratch. And then they just leave you like that. That's currently the world that we're living in as a gamer. Some people do devote, I've devoted hours, thousands of hours to games in some cases, hundreds, and obviously for single games. But, in total, thousands of hours for playing games and grinding and earning all this currency. And so it's just building a world that, developers do reap rewards from that as well, being able to create this engagement, this additional revenue stream, this kind of additional retention, keeping players into their game, and players do get rewarded.
Yeah, and so if I could sort of add to that as well, Haniff, before you keep going, there is also a piece that that we've discovered as well, that's always been there, that you don't really that's not really shed a light on. And then we're talking about some countries, some nations where they're not as fortunate, but they've got the ability to game. And so it's being able to produce even a small amount of potential revenue as a gamer in a country that's not as fortunate as some, and that can help towards providing a little bit more for them, right? When we, as sort of our journey, we've started noticing that the uptake and a lot of the feedback are from underdeveloped countries, and we've actually gotten messages saying, hey, this is super cool. It's actually allowing me to play games that I play and actually earn a couple dollars here and there, which goes a large way. And so it's kind of interesting just to see that gaming has we all know it spreads around the world. It's this broad spectrum, but the ability to sort of help nations that are a little underdeveloped, and those that love gaming, because it's a universal thing, and being able to generate even a small amount of revenue to sort of help along the way.
Yeah, that's a good point. I know someone earlier on, kind of in our creation, they said, "Hey, you're making a universal wage, and you'll be able to solve, poverty and life's issues there." And I said, "Hey, that's we'll take a step there. We'll take definitely a step there." But that is a good point, right? That's something that, as an impact, there's a lot of gamers, and sometimes that's all they do. That's all they find their escape for, and sometimes that's all I can do as well to find my escape. So being able to earn some revenue, earn some additional reward from that, earn on top of my experiences, is a cool added feature as well.
Yeah, and I have a question along that line as well. Sorry for interrupting.
No.
But it's kind of popped up to me. I mean, it might be a challenge. I'm pretty sure that you already figured it out. But how would exchange rates would work? For example, currencies in, I don't know, Diablo will be different from League of Legends or WoW. Or, I mean, it will be like a whole ecosystem of currencies, and very similar to our current economies in some way. So how would you work around this, all these rates that have to be merged together?
Right. No, that's a very, very good question. And that's kind of what we spent some time into digging out, speaking with economists and kind of local ones from our universities here as well, and just kind of seeing how the whole current system works. Because really, you're exactly right. It works similar to our current world in terms of we have reserve systems, we have kind of gold systems, we have, each country has a reserve so that when another person from another country comes to exchange their money, they can exchange it kind of on a basis that everyone knows what the rates would be. So our games, in terms of with that, kind of act in that similar way. Each game does have a difficulty measure in terms of that can be set by default by us, or it can be set by the developer. So if it's the developer has no clue in terms of where they want this to go, but they just kind of want to test and see, we can define a default model that introduces kind of time versus earning. So if you're able to earn a lot of gold in a short amount of time, then obviously when you do convert, you could be converting at a lower rate. But if you're able to, in another game, it's harder to earn gold or harder to earn premium currencies, then you're converting at a higher rate as well. And these rates can be adjusted. They can be adjusted by the developer. So if the developer wants to say, hey, I have two currencies. I have one that I really want to make really hard for users to convert, or the exchange rate is lower, then we can gamify that too. So we can provide incentives for the developer to say, hey, flash, 2 hours flash sale, where every in-game currency that's converted, is double the rewards for users, incentivize and pull users that way, and they can also restrict them. But you are right; it is a huge plug and play in terms of a push and pull system. That we want to run kind of like a self-running organism. The more networks that we do include into this, obviously, there will be some challenges and there will be some thinking. Right now, we're actually teasing with a blockchain design game with its own currency as well, and that adds a whole cool new dynamic, because it kind of creates an in-game exchange of all games through cryptocurrency as well. So not only through traditional, but through games that do have their own tokens. So we're coming down that road, and that's really cool, because I think that's going to excite the community, because you're creating almost like a Uniswap of game currency from whatever you create. So that's something that we're going down. But you are right, it's going to be some learning curves as we expand. Maybe we're going to get a huge game that's going to take a lot of users, or the currency is going to be different or difficult to integrate. But the cool thing is this can all be changed on the fly, can be changed on the background. It's pretty intuitive there.
Yeah, and if I can, oh, sorry.
No, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
If I could sort of add to that, one of the things when we were, we put a lot of time and research and talking to different, from different industries and different academics and so forth. And so, as Haniff mentioned, one of the things that we did notice with games is it not to oversimplify it, but it comes down to time and reward. And so a lot of developers, how much time you put into a game, there's actually a formula for how much reward you get out of it, right? And so for us, we've come to an understanding around that, and so that's enabled us to create a bit of a conversion system that Haniff mentioned. That obviously, it gets tweaked by the developers, or it's always ever changing. There's nothing that's
nerfed or buffed.
Yeah, to throw the game, it's nerfed or buffed just to try and get it balanced. But at the end of the day, if you're taking WoW Gold and you're moving it into another game, it's time and reward, and it's finding that middle ground of what does not completely break the system and what makes it worthwhile, right? So we've got our own internal matrix or algorithm that we use to try and get as close as possible. It's not perfect, because it said it gets nerfed and buffed, and we're always ever changing it. But to kind of answer your question at its simplest, it's when you're converting through the platform, we've got the time versus reward, and that's the conversion piece, and then that's how it flows into the next game to try and balance it out as best as possible.
Okay, awesome. So you kind of came up with a way to give some value to the effort it takes for gamers
Yes.
to get achievements done and currencies and all that. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So maybe we can go on with your presentation. Sorry for interrupting.
No,
great
not at
questions.
all. Not at all. We like, sometimes I just put these presentations mainly for those who are, having an introduction. But as Hugh said, we just love to kind of chat about the whole project and what we're doing. So I'll try to fly through these, and so I can get rid of the presentation there and then have some time to just chat. So simply, how Tapcoins are earned, as we've been saying, exporting in-game score, converting Steam achievements, gamifying, through farming, staking. With our version 3, we are going to be allowing some cool partner features and collaborative features that will introduce some partner NFTs and new NFTs coming into our system that will kind of gamify it on the blockchain side. So we're kind of hitting on all levels here, but we try to make it as simple. So for Steam achievements, as I mentioned before, kill 100 enemies, that might be 400 Tapcoins. If you have a really difficult achievement, that might be higher. How we've done that is kind of through the data that we've been receiving, publicly and online. It's through it's a mechanism to determine how difficult an in-game achievement is just by the amount of people that have earned it based on the amount of players that are playing it. So you can go through the math there, but there's a system in place that will be able to determine, and you can see it right on the platform, how much your in-game currency will be worth for that achievement. And then on the version 3 as well, we'll be adapting that to NFT creation, where you'll be able to earn an achievement. You'll be able to see on our version 3 platform which achievements might have NFTs connected to them, and then the game is on after that to see which cross chain will be able to unlock there. There might be, if there's 10 NFTs, there might be 7 on ETH, 3 on BSC, 7 on BSC, 3 on ETH. And obviously we will be expanding the network of multi-chains to kind of participate in this. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just top through a couple of these slides and then get into kind of what's next. But what I want to do is kind of highlight our team real quickly here. And I'll say it here because he will never say it on himself, but we put a great development team in the works to be able to put this thing together, comprised of gamers, developers, engineers, and Hugh, of course, as well. So we put a lot of time into actually the coding of this. So we do have a lot of background stuff that hopefully our goal is to not have the player see, to not lose the experience of playing a game, converting in-game assets using blockchain technology. We've developed kind of our own layer 2 system that we've been using since 2018 to make this possible, but this could not have been done without our development team, the guys and girls who have helped us along the way as well, to build this out, because we're only getting bigger and we're only increasing in terms of our goal and our mission to kind of take over the world, no, so to speak, but to actually make this a disruption in a good and positive way that we know we can. So I just want to put that out there for that before I jump off the slide. So please check us out, www.tapproject.net, team at tapproject.net if you do want to send us an email, Tapcoin on social media. Join our Discord in the links as well, and I'll jump off the slide so we can just chat.
Yeah, and so Haniff, just to sort of circle back to the team, we're a small team, but a very, I would say, very, we're very precise, we're very exact, and we're very, we love to grind. And so majority of the team, developers are gamers, and so they understand the grind, they understand the hard work. And so for us, it's always being able to deliver. And one of the things that we try to do the most is when connecting to the blockchain, just make it the experience and not necessarily about the blockchain. And it's your gaming and you're interacting with the platform without knowing that you're on the blockchain and the blockchain is moving. And I think that's sort of the piece that for us we want to be at, because it's a way to introduce an environment instead of kind of pushing the blockchain in front of your face and saying, hey, deal with it, your gaming and your blockchain. And so it's it's interacting, it's simple, and it's blockchain in the back end, and you're like, oh, cool, that's blockchain based. And that's sort of what as the developers and as a team we've tried to do, and be very methodical and thoughtful when we're writing out the code for it, or as we're interacting. Do we need to make that piece? Can we put that piece on layer 2 just to make the transition a little bit more seamless? And at what point do we need to reach out and mint for example, that you interact, and do we want the user to know? In some cases you do, because it's kind of, you know, that cool factor. In some cases, there isn't a scenario where they need to know until after the fact. So
yeah, absolutely.
Serena. I just wanted to briefly say hello and invite everyone watching here to drop any message or questions they have. I know there's one here, so I'll be asking that soon from Danny. But before we do that, I also wanted to share some thoughts about your presentation, which I very much enjoyed. And I love the storytelling, you know, the actual story behind what you're building and the team and all the kind of like feedback you gathered from the community and what you're actually doing to support what's been happening so far. So my question to you is, you know, given the fact that blockchain is kind of like hidden, it's there. If somebody wants to learn more about it, it's there. But at the same time, you know, the wider gaming industry, it's so, you know, diverse, and that's so many different kind of like realities that don't even include blockchain. So my question to you is, how are you planning to integrate those other, for example, games or realities that may not have play to earn as a system, but you still may want to include them in the fact that you want to maybe in the future feature some of the assets or type of exchange that may happen that may not involve any type of like exchange currency and so on. So is that in your plan? So how are you like comparing yourself to the not on-chain, let's say, games or market?
Yeah, that's a great question, Serena. And I think that's a question that kind of comes down into our conversations that we've had with developers, to kind of slowly learn what they're looking for, what their pain points are, what their issues are that they're seeing. And that goes into kind of the experience for the developer. So we do want to be in a place where we do onboard games or different developers that don't have any systems where players are playing to earn, like a typical first-person shooter where you're shooting, or a typical platformer where you're actually collecting the gold. We actually fiddle around with ideas of life. So we talk to games where they do not have any sort of earned currency, and they just kind of want the player to be in the experience. But they do have a player does have a life. And so we've actually dabbled with the life in terms of like the heart, the 3 heart lives and stuff like that, being able to capture that. Obviously, that is going to be a learning curve to bring onto those developers to engage them. But what we do know is we are ready to engage in terms of the traditional developer that just wants to kind of get into the space, wants to kind of put their toe in, but not dive too much. But to kind of answer your question, that is going to be a learning curve for us, because we are obviously capturing those who do have in-game currencies, those who do have gold or gems or anything like that that's kind of out there. But it is about kind of innovating, and we haven't shied away from anything like that. We always say we're a small team, but we can throw our punches too as well. So it's about innovating. So really, if there's a developer out there that wants to kind of test that theory in terms of not having an in-game currency, but having an experience, and how can we capture that experience? How can we capture that experience and reward that user?
And so if I can sort of add to that as well, the interesting piece about games is, although there isn't a currency, or game might not have a currency, all games have assets in some shape or another. And those assets and the way the developer designs the game are exciting in itself. And so it's being able to make those assets transferable as well, either through them being NFTs, or converting those assets into a type of currency, because those assets all carry a value as well. Everything in a game carries a value, either knowingly or unknowingly. And so it's being able to tie into those assets and being able to move those assets. Once again, it's bridging that asset. It's sort of the concept of, if say you had a vehicle in one game and you wanted to move it and turn it into a robot in another game, right? It's that asset and being able to move, but it has a uniqueness to you because there might be a special attachment to it. And so we've been able to tap by bridging that gap. It's not only just currency, it's just tapping into the entire asset. And like Haniff said, it's that experience of that asset. And then to the second piece to answer your question, is the way we've sort of done it, and we've gone in, and so we said, okay, well, for us, how can we understand a developer unless we try and develop a game? And so we took that dive and we developed a game, and we went through the struggles, and we're like, okay, we understand. And so we've tried to build, like Haniff said, a solution stack that allows those that are developers just coming in, they don't know what all these terminologies, these languages, lingos mean. All they know is that they want to provide an enhancement to their user base. And so we provide as easy integration stack as possible through the SDK, and we've gone and automated as much as that process as possible, tying into the platform and then connecting to NFT Anywhere, allowing them to move from blockchain to blockchain, where they don't have to really think about that. Okay, I need to find a developer, tell me do this. I need to it's almost a one-stop shop of being able to create that tech stack. If we were to put in sort of tech speak, that they've got the SDK, they've got a platform, they've got the ability to move it, and they've got the ability to receive it. And here is your stack, and it's all one place. And as a developer or publisher, I can go there and I can manage that entire integration of my game. And now I'm into the blockchain space, kind of dipping my toe into the water and experiencing what it's like to tap into a different space. Because we all know the community, the gamer community and blockchain community, they come together, but they're all different. They're all different groups, and they have different likes and different needs and wants. So.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer. I think it's very understandable that it will take time, and you were saying, and if there's a learning curve. So it's interesting also to have this kind of openness towards, whoever is out there playing the games, developing the games, and include them in that kind of like developing process. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's an interesting approach. So I'm just going back to some of the audience question, and then I will pass them back on to Louise. So Danny is asking, do you have a specific date for when BSC integration on Tap platform? If yes,
Sag.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that it is. We were here from the ETH days of paying a couple dollars for a transaction, and at one even less actually. At one point, we were here when obviously the CryptoKitty days, and you paid $5, and where we were trying to deploy contracts, we're like $5. Oh my gosh, this is too much, and then we got into the $20 days and the $100 days, and where we are now. And yes, I don't think gas is always going to be an issue. It is temporary right now, obviously, with the congestion on the network. There are going to be solutions for that. We do have, Optimism Layer 2 and things that are going to be set out, 2.0 proof of stake as well. So there are going to be things that are going to make that easier. But on that note, we are going to be looking to a multi-chain adoption, because I do feel, and we do feel as a team, that that's going to be kind of where people are going to be going, not restricting people to their individual blockchains. So to answer your question, Danny, BSC integration will be coming out next month. We don't have an assigned date to that because we want to make sure that we do all our testing for this. We are going to be innovating here, so we're not just kind of bridging our token. We're not just kind of putting our token onto a DEX or something like that. We're actually pushing our entire technology, and so there's unique things that are happening because our supply for our token is obviously limited, and our supply for our platform is going to be cross-chain. So there's going to be a push and pull system, not only between the games, but between the total supply. So we want to make sure that all these things are tested, are working right. Obviously, there's going to be bugs and stuff on release as usual in the blockchain, but we want to make sure that kind of all those things. So what I'll say to you, Danny, is in June, BSC integration, but that just does not mean BSC integration. That means allowing you to choose. Hey, maybe ETH gas is lower at one point. You'll be able to pop onto ETH, play around, or pop onto BSC and play around as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul.
And sort of it's okay. To add to that as well, it's we're looking at connecting to other chains. So it's not only the BSC chain that we're going after. It's for us, these are just roads and channels to allow different user base to tap into pardon the pun, to tap into the system and being able to experience different chains and different games and different pieces. So
yeah.
We're developing BSC and having it coexist on both, and not just essentially one on one platform and then a different one on another. It's going to be the same across the board, and the same token and the same NFT across the board as we kind of reach out and expand.
Yeah, and we do have plans in terms of, like, if you go to our nftanywhere.com, which is a simple transfer protocol that allows you to transfer your NFTs or tokens from one chain to the next. You can see our target list as well. We do need to update that as well because we have one more there, but we have targets of Binance Smart Chain, Flow, Wax, Hive, Near, Algorand, like Matic. We got a lot of things that are being coming up from some positive blockchains or layer 2 solutions that are going to be coming out, and we just want to make it a widely accessible network.
Super, thank you.
You're welcome.
Next question here is, what if that special attachment brackets was a royalty IP arrangement? I think that was going back to what you guys were describing earlier on.
Yeah,
any comments on this?
Yeah, definite comments, because that is working. I'll say that's working in the background. We've been working with looking at actually one industry. I'm going to put it out there, the music industry, of how we can tackle that in terms of gaming. Gaming and music are huge together. They've actually been kind of in line from a lot of, back in the day, a lot of these experiences come along with with music attached to them. So we've been working out a way to connect that. So the game, it might not be through a game asset, might not be through currency, but it actually could be through music, through a IP arrangement, through the royalty of that artist, of that industry, of that publisher, connecting it and building on top of that. So I just kind of burst into the vision here. Maybe I'll speak too soon, actually, but I'll just tease. Imagine playing a game, hearing that music, unlocking that music. I'll just leave it there. But anyway, it could be through that. So I won't speak too far on there.
That's the future.
Yeah, and I'll kind of throw my hat in the ring too. It's, for us, it's not losing the information when you're moving. It's being able to carry. So if there's a special IP arrangement with it and royalties with it, it's being able to keep that as it transitions from chain to chain. And that, to break it down into developer speak, that's just data, essentially, at its simplest form. And it's just making sure to attach it to the right asset. And so, we've definitely been cognizant about that, and making sure that when we transition a piece of an asset or anything like that, that the proper data moves with it. It's sort of like, the concept of, we're uploading our data, our minds. If our bodies go, then we can still have our consciousness, because it's, at the end of the day, it's data just moving from one location to the next and still keeping its pure form.
Yeah, that's what everyone's been waiting from, the day that blockchain came out.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's become, I think we're getting closer and closer each day. So I'm hoping to leave that in the next future.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys. It's been a wonderful presentation. Thank you for introducing us to the Tap projects. And I also wanted to thank the audience that has been sending out very interesting questions. So we'll keep the conversation ongoing on our channels. And of course, you see here below the Tap project networks. So feel free to keep that going. I also wanted to remind from the BGA side that next week on Friday, we are hosting the most wanted event of the month, which is the demo day. So feel free to join us. And then that will be followed by a workshop around EULA that will be around, Sebastian, help me on that. It's going to be about the licenses. Am I right?
Yes, it's going to be. It's also a first time we're hosting this type of event, which we hope will provide a lot of value to all our members. We've essentially we have a lawyer which going to review live some of the term of use, term of service of your project that you have been submitting ahead. And it will comment them. It will explain why there are potentially some flaws, some suggestions to improve them around, and help you and help us in general to make better term of use, term of service that will benefit the space in general. And I think it's going to be great because there's not so many lawyers who are familiar with the concept of NFTs. I can speak I can tell from sure as I speak to a lot of them in the space of licensing typically. And well, that's all the thing that can contribute to educating more about term of use, licensing around the concept of NFTs will hopefully be helpful to more and all members.
So these are our 2 upcoming events. Stay with us. Here's how to join the BGA, and thanks again to Annie and Hugh and Louis for having hosted this wonderful event about tap projects. And good luck with everything upcoming for you guys.
Yeah, no, we thank you guys, and thanks everyone at the BGA as well.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure. See you soon.
Bye everyone.
See you.
See you guys.